The Ford 302 V8, or as many folks know it, the 5.0 liter, is nothing short of legendary in the engine world. It first showed up in the late 1960s and has since powered everything from classic Mustangs to the tough bullnose Ford trucks. Known for its reliability, solid performance, and the vast aftermarket support it enjoys, the 302 is a favorite among engine builders and car enthusiasts alike. Whether you're restoring an old Ford or trying to squeeze a bit more horsepower out of your bullnose, getting to know the 302 inside and out is an important part of servicing it or swapping it in. In this guide, I'll walk you through its history, specs, performance, and some of the most popular mods. By the end, you'll understand why this engine has earned such a loyal following. The Ford 302 V8 made its debut in 1968, bridging the gap between Ford's smaller 289 and larger 351 Windsor engines. But the 302 certainly wasn't just a one-trick pony. It quickly became a go-to for a wide range of Ford vehicles over the decades, from the Ford Galaxy, Cougar, and of course Mustang, to the F-Series, Bronco, and Explorer. I've created this chart which shows exactly where this engine found a home, listing every vehicle, the years it was used, and whether it was a roller block or not. This way, you can know where to go if you want to pull it from a yard or a classified post like Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist. Starting in 1969, the 302 was a popular choice for performance models like the Mustang. But as emission regulations tightened in the 1970s, the engine had to adapt, often at the cost of power. In the 1980s, Ford revitalized the 302 with a high output, or HO version, starting in the Mustang GT. This version featured upgrades like a roller camshaft and higher compression, boosting performance significantly. By 1986, the switch to electronic fuel injection, or EFI, marked a new era of efficiency and reliability. The 1990s brought further enhancements with the introduction of the GT40 heads, particularly in the Ford Explorer. These heads offered improved airflow, making the 302 even more popular among performance enthusiasts and engine builders. Even after its official retirement in 2001, the 302's legacy lives on in countless classic cars and trucks. Over the years, the 302 saw several important updates, including changes to the valve train and rear main seal. This chart I put together takes a closer look at how these updates rolled out year by year, so you can get an idea of which type of engine you might find in a vehicle of that year. The Ford 302 is a compact, lightweight V8 that's ideal for restoration projects and high-performance builds. Let's go over the nuts and bolts. First off, the 302 is a 90-degree overhead valve train V8 with a displacement of, guessed it, 302 cubic inches or 5.0 liters. It's got a 4-inch bore and a 3-inch stroke, which gives it that well-balanced performance. Depending on the year, the compression ratio ranges from 8.0 to 1 to 9.5 to 1. Now, despite being a V8, the 302 is relatively light. It weighs around 460 to 475 pounds with iron heads and intake. The engine block is made of cast iron, which adds durability. Most 302s have a cast iron crankshaft too, though some high-performance models came with forged steel crankshafts, which are stronger and more durable. When it comes to firing order, the early 302s were set up with 154, 26, 378. But in 1982, when Ford introduced the high output or HO version, they switched it up to 137, 26548 for better performance. Another key update happened at the end of 1982, transitioning into the 1983 model year. Ford moved from a 2-piece rear main seal to a 1-piece design. This change really improved reliability by cutting down those pesky oil leaks that were common with the older setup. It's a big deal if you're rebuilding or sourcing parts for these engines. Now let's talk power. Early 302s put out anywhere between 140 and 200 horsepower, depending on the year and model. But with the HO version of the 1980s, you can see up to 225 horsepower with torque ranging from around 240 to 300 pound-feet. Size-wise, the 302 measures about 27 inches long, 29 inches wide, and 27 inches high. These compact dimensions made it a popular choice for a variety of vehicles, from sports cars to trucks. That's one of the reasons why the 302 is such a great option for swapping into classic vehicles. The 302 holds about 5 quarts of oil, including the filter, and it typically runs best with SAE 10W30 oil depending on your climate and specific needs. The Ford 302 is known for packing a solid punch in a relatively small package. One of its biggest strengths is its broad power band, delivering torque early and keeping it across a wide range of RPMs. This translates to good acceleration and towing capability, especially in heavier vehicles like trucks. What really makes the 302 shine, though, is its tuning potential. With a massive aftermarket, you can easily upgrade this engine to meet almost any performance goal. Whether you want a streetable 350 horsepower build or a high-revving 500 plus horsepower beast, the 302 can deliver with the right modifications. Now, when walking on a classic Ford project, you might encounter various small block V8 engines, such as the 302, 351 Windsor, 289, and 260. Although they share a common lineage, each engine has its own strengths. The 302, however, stands out for its versatility and balance of power and size. The 302's 302 cubic inches of displacement strike a balance between the smaller 289-260 engines and the larger 351 Windsor. With the right parts, the 302 can safely handle up to around 450 to 500 horsepower before risking damage to the stock block. Pushing beyond this range increases the risk of cracking or other failures, making the 302 ideal for moderate to high performance builds where durability is key. On the other hand, the 351 Windsor with its larger displacement offers greater torque and power potential right out of the gate. It's a better choice for those seeking maximum horsepower with fewer modifications, as it can handle more power without compromising reliability. The smaller 289 and 260 engines are lighter and provide a good fit for certain builds, but they don't offer the same power potential as the 302 or 351 Windsor. Identifying these engines is essential, especially when sourcing parts. The 302 and 289 are close in size, but the 289 typically has smaller valve heads and a different firing order, except for the high power models. The 351 Windsor is easily distinguishable by its taller deck height, which makes it physically larger. This increased height raises the intake manifold and creates a wider gap between the cylinder heads. Additionally, the distributor on the 351 Windsor sits higher due to the deck height. On the 302, this makes the distributor mount almost flush with the top of the block. Both the 351 Windsor and the HO version of the 302 share the same firing order, 137-265-48. Among these small block V8s, the 302 is probably the best blend of performance, size, and aftermarket support. It's light enough to improve handling in smaller vehicles like Mustangs, yet strong enough to deliver reliable power in trucks and muscle cars. Its popularity ensures a wide range of available parts and tuning expertise, making the 302 a common choice for enthusiasts. By understanding these differences, you can select the engine that best matches your project's performance goals and fitment needs. Like me, I'm choosing 351 because, there's no replacement for displacement. The Ford 302 is a tough engine, but like any machine, it has its quirks. Keeping an eye out for a few common issues can save you a lot of trouble down the road. One thing you want to watch out for is oil leaks. These are pretty common, especially around the valve codes, rear main seal, and oil pan gasket. Regular checks and replacing gaskets when needed can help keep these leaks in check. And if you're rebuilding the engine, it's worth investing in high-quality gaskets to prevent future problems. Another thing to keep an eye on is the timing chain. Over time, these can stretch, which can lead to poor performance or even cause engine damage. Upgrading to a double roller timing chain during a rebuild is a solid move. It improves reliability and can give you some peace of mind. Overheating is another issue that some 302s struggle with, particularly in older vehicles where the radiator or water pump might be past its prime. Upgrading to an aluminum radiator and a high-flow water pump can make a big difference in keeping your engine cool, even when you're pushing it hard. And let's not forget about the ignition system. Early 302s used points ignition systems, which can become unreliable as they age. Switching to an electronic ignition system like Ford's DuraSpark or an aftermarket setup is a great way to boost reliability and make sure your engine fires up every time. By tackling these common issues early, you'll keep your Ford 302 running strong and avoid those annoying surprises that can pop up when you least expect them. As I've said before, the Ford 302 Windsor is a favorite among engine builders because of its versatility and the wide range of aftermarket parts available. Whether you're restoring a classic or pushing the limits with a high-performance build, the 302 offers plenty of ways to get more power. One popular upgrade is installing a stroker kit, which increases the engine's displacement to 347 cubic inches. This involves lengthening the piston stroke, allowing more air to fuel into the engine. With the right parts and professional machining, a 347 stroker can easily push out over 400 horsepower, making it a popular option for those looking to significantly boost performance. Another key area to consider is the cylinder heads. The stock heads, especially on early 302 models, tend to be restricted, limiting airflow and consequently power. Upgraded to aftermarket aluminum heads from brands like Edelbrock, AFR, or TrickFlow can make a huge difference, adding anywhere from 50 to 100 horsepower. Pair those heads with a performance camshaft and intake manifold, and you'll see even greater gains. Speaking of camshafts, cams play a critical role in how your engine breathes and where it makes power. Later 302s, particularly the HO versions, came with roller camshafts, which are more efficient and can support more aggressive cam profiles. A well-chosen camshaft might add 20 to 40 horsepower on its own, and when combined with other upgrades like better heads and an intake, the results can be pretty impressive. Now, let's talk about induction. Whether you stick with a carburetor or go for fuel injection, how you manage air and fuel is crucial. The 302 works well with a variety of setups, from a mild 600 CFM 4-barrel carb for street use to more aggressive configurations for racing. Upgrading the intake manifold improves airflow, especially when matched with a larger carburetor. If you're looking for better fuel economy, reliability, and drivability, converting to electronic fuel injection is a solid move. SEFI tuning in particular can unlock significant gains, especially when paired with other mods like a performance camshaft. And of course, you can't forget about the exhaust system. A high-flow setup is essential for reducing back pressure and letting the engine breathe freely. Long tube headers usually offer the best performance gains, especially in the mid to high RPM range, though they can be trickier to fit in some vehicles. Shorty headers are easier to install and still provide good improvements over stock manifolds. And if you really want to optimize performance, consider upgrading to a true dual exhaust system with an X-pipe or H-pipe, which helps balance exhaust pulses and reduces back pressure even further. Finally, all the upgrades in the world won't reach their full potential without proper tuning. A dyno tune ensures that your air-fuel mixture, ignition timing, and other parameters are dialed in just right for maximum performance. Whether you're aiming for a street-friendly setup with a good drivability and fuel efficiency, or a track-focused build where power and responsiveness are everything, getting your 302 tuned properly can make all the difference. The 302's compact size and lightweight make it a solid choice for all sorts of engine spots. It's a favorite for Fox body Mustangs, where it drops in easily, and there's a ton of parts and tuning info out there to make the process smooth. That's a big plus if you're looking to boost performance without too much hassle. But the 302 isn't just for Mustangs. It's also a great fit for older Fords like the Falcon or Fairlane, especially if you're looking to replace a smaller or underpowered engine. The swap gives these classic a real kick without straying too far from what they originally were. If you're building a hot rod or something custom, the 302's size really works in your favor. It can squeeze into tight spots where a bigger engine might be a pain, letting you focus more on performance instead of wrestling with fitment issues. Now, if you're planning a swap, there are a few things to keep in mind. First off, motor mounts. Depending on your vehicle, you might need custom mounts to get everything lined up right. You'll also need to check oil pan clearance. The 302's pan has to clear the crossmember, so you might end up needing a different sump setup depending on what you're working with. And don't forget about the transmission. The 302 works with a lot of Ford transmissions, but you'll need to make sure the bell housing, clutch, and shifter line up properly with your vehicle setup. Get that sorted, and the 302 will give you plenty of reliable power. Now, when it comes to pairing the 302 with the transmission, there are no shortage of options. Over the years, the 302 has been matched with a variety of both manual and automatic transmissions, so you've got plenty to choose from depending on your build and driving style. If you're into manual transmissions, one of the older classics is the Ford Top Loader 4-Speed. It's known for its durability and smooth shifts, making it a solid choice for muscle cars and some trucks from the 60s and 70s. Another popular option is the T5 5-speed manual, which you'll find in Mustangs from 1983 to 1995. The T5 adds an overdrive gear, which is great if you're looking to balance performance with a bit of fuel efficiency. And for those pushing higher horsepower, the Tremec TKO 5-speed is a tough aftermarket choice that can handle a lot of torque. Then there's the Borg Warner T18 and T19 4-speeds. These are more rugged, often found in trucks and off-road vehicles, where their toughness really shines. The NP435 is another truck-oriented option, well known for its low first gear and reliability, especially in heavier-duty setups. In the later years, the ZF S542 and S547 5-speeds showed up in Ford trucks from the late 80s through the 90s. These transmissions are built to handle serious torque, making them ideal for heavy-duty applications. And for a lighter-duty setup, you've got the Mazda M5OD 5-speed manual overdrive, which was common in F-150s, Rangers, and Explorers, though it's not ideal if you're planning to push a lot of torque without some modifications. On the automatic side, the Ford C4 3-speed is a well-known option, especially in lighter cars and trucks from the 60s through the early 80s. It's reliable for street builds and light performance setups. If you need something stronger, the The Ford C6 3-speed is a heavy-duty transmission that's often paired with the 302 in trucks and larger vehicles, known for its ability to handle higher torque. In the mid-1980s, Ford introduced the AOD 4-speed automatic with overdrive. This was a good pick if you're looking to improve fuel efficiency at highway speeds, but you might need some modifications to fit it into an older 302 block. Whether you're aiming for a classic build, a high-performance setup, or something in between, there is a transmission that'll work well with your 302. Now, I know I sound like a broken record, but it bears repeating. One of the biggest advantages of the Ford 302 is the sheer amount of aftermarket support it has. Because this engine is so popular, parts are easy to find and generally affordable, which makes it one of the most accessible V8s to build or modify. If you're looking to replace an existing 302 or start a new build, you've got plenty of options. Rebuilt engines are all over the place, often with warranties included. These are usually built to stock specs, but can come with mild upgrades for better performance and reliability. Then there are crate engines, which might be pricier, but are ready to install right out of the box. Companies like Ford Performance offer everything from stock replacements to high-performance builds, so you can pretty much pick the level of power you want. And when it comes to parts, the aftermarket for the 302 is huge. Brands like Edelbrock, Trickflow, AFR, and Holley offer everything from cylinder heads to intake manifolds, and you can even get complete top-end kits. Whether you're just looking for a slight bump in power or planning a full-blown race build, the parts are out there, and you don't have to wait long to get them. And cost-wise, the 302 is one of the most affordable V8s to work on. The wide availability of parts keeps prices down, and the performance per dollar is hard to beat. In short, if you're looking to build or restore a classic V8, the Ford 302 is a solid choice. With a combination of affordability, performance potential, and ease of finding parts, it's no wonder this engine remains a favorite among enthusiasts. The 302 made a huge impact on the automotive world, quickly becoming a cornerstone of Ford's performance lineup. Its role in the Mustang, especially in models like the Boss 302 and Mustang GT, helped define the muscle car era. And when it powered the Fox body Mustangs through the 80s and 90s, it stayed at the forefront of American performance culture, showing just how easily this engine could be modified for more power. And even though the 302 officially retired in 2001, it's far from forgotten. It's still a favorite among builders, racers, and restorers thanks to its perfect balance of size, weight, and power. You'll find it in everything, from classic resto mods to drag racers. The 302 wasn't just a hit in the Mustang, though. It powered some of Ford's most iconic vehicles, like the F-Series trucks. Its role in these bestsellers helped cement the 302's reputation as a versatile, dependable engine. In short, the Ford 302 isn't just an engine, it's a legend. With over 50 years of history behind it, the 302 has proven itself time and again, whether on the street, the track, or off-road. Whether you're building a street cruiser, a drag racer, or restoring a classic truck, the 302 gives you a solid foundation with endless possibilities. And with all the parts and support still available today, there's never been a better time to build your perfect 302. Well, that's it, guys. Everything I know, or pretend to know, about the Ford 302 5.0 liter engine. You know, these things are everywhere. Ford made at least 10 million, some estimates put it as high as 20 million units of these over their entire production run. So if you want, go get you one. If you're looking for which vehicles they came in so you know how to pull one, make sure you reference the chart that I put earlier in the video. That'll tell you all the vehicles and the years that you can find them in. So I don't know what else to say that hasn't already been said about this amazing engine, other than maybe legendary, but I've said that a few times. Legendary. Guys, if you like this kind of content, if you found something interesting in this video, if you learned something new, give me a like, give me a subscribe. It really helps me out and lets me know that this is the kind of content that you guys want to see so I can make more of it. If you really want to support the channel, head over to my merch store. You get some really cool stuff. I made some hats, t-shirts, bumper stickers, and stickers just for the 302 and for this video. So if you guys want to show your support for the channel, or you want to show your love for the legendary Ford 302 5.0 liter engine, go grab you some stuff. It's really cool. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, gripes, internet ramblings, stick them below. Thanks again for watching, guys, and we will see you next time.